is my place, and I am welcome.
And I'm going to let Dedri take it from here. Dedri.
Thank you so much, Vesna. Thank you so much. Good morning, Unity York region. You know what? Let us begin. Happy Father's Day to all who have fathered anyone. And I also wish you a happy Pride. Let us continue to grow in consciousness and oneness and love and acceptance for all expressions of human. Hello, family. It is good to be with you today. Let us start with this song. It's called I Belong Here. And I would love it if you would sing along with me. Oh, yes, 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 I belong here. Oh, yes, 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 I belong here. Right here, right now, I belong here. No matter my lifestyle, no matter my past, whatever I've been through, no one's here to judge you. I hope you know that. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Come on now, I belong here. I want you to sing that with me. Oh, yes, 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 I belong here, right now, right here, right now, I belong here. No matter our future or journey, no matter our future, no matter our journey, no matter how wounded, no matter how wounded, there's only one thing that's certain. Oh, we're gonna say we belong here. Oh, yes, 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 we belong here. Let's do that again. Oh, yes, 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 we belong here. Right here, right now, we belong here. Whether to be silent, supported, or inspired, whether it's for healing or sharing in the love, we are welcome, we are welcome, we belong here. Let's do that again. Whether to be silent, supported, or inspired, whether it's for healing or sharing in the love, we are welcome, we are welcome, we belong here. I belong here. Oh, yes, 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 I belong here. Come on, sing that again for me. Oh, yes, 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 I belong here. Right here, right now, I belong here, right now. Oh, yes, right here, right now. We certainly belong here. Yes, indeed. The theme for today is Imagine That. But before we begin, I do like to start with my intention prayer. So it just grounds me, and I love to start with that. It is my intent to share my gift of song, my love and my passion to honor and to serve Spirit. Let it reach whomever it is meant for, however it is meant to, without judgment, in humility and grace, and in love and light. And know that what I offer here are just little tidbits that I've learned along the way, my experiences, my little 2 cents. What is a father? What is a man? Do you think of trucks and hunting gear? Someone who teaches you how to fish, someone who pushes you beyond, our limits, pushes us beyond our limits, someone who protects? Is it someone who would let you do just about anything that's daring and risky? We have so many stereotypes of man, don't we? It's the hunter-gatherer, the strong, the daring, the ones who kill or remove the centipede that is in the bathroom. Yes, that happens in my house. He is the head of the household, the decision maker, the one who has the last say, the one to be weighted on, right? Yes, he's going to wait for his food and wait for everything. After all, he is the one wearing the pants. He is the man of the house. Huh. I mean, we don't usually or generally think of men as being sensitive and gentle and nurturing. Why is that? In several countries, women are seen as inferior. For centuries, we have been teaching the same narrative. A son is an heir, deserving of the good, while the daughter is not. She is meant to be used, sent off, sold off, used to create wealth for the family, and she can bring honor, though, by bearing a son, but it must be a son. She is an object to possess. And in most countries, a woman's role is with pots and pans, childbearing and child rearing. Not much else. We clean, we wash, we cook, we do laundry, we do all that kind of stuff, you know? For centuries, we have established a certain level of significance to males and females, and though it has somehow always favored men in terms of power and status, celebration and respect for the feminine, especially the divine feminine, and that emotional intimacy and connection, that has been taught to be silenced in males. In males who choose to live their lives around those gender privileges and societal norms. Our world is built upon that foundation of patriarchy. Fathers are meant to be firm and tough. They don't express emotion. They're supposed to be cold. We have allowed that to remain the standard by which we live for far too long. And so today I'm exploring the idea of using the power of imagination to imagine a world where fathers and men can maybe be connected emotionally to their families without feeling like they have to deny their manhood. Where women can wear the pants in the home and be the decision maker without feeling hindered. Where you can be the wholeness of you, and I can be the wholeness of me. Just as I am, just as you are, just as God made you. Can you imagine that? All I want to be is me. All I want to feel is free. All I want to do is to feel good within my skin. And all I want to be is me. Oh, just as I am, and just as God made me, just as the love that put this smile upon my face, Mother Nature praises the beauty of individuality. The best that I can be is me. Oh. All I want to be is me. All I want to feel is free. Free. All I want to do is to feel good within my skin. All I want to be is me. Oh. Just as I am, and just as God made me, just as the love that put this smile upon my face, Mother Nature praises the beauty of individuality. The best that I can be is me. Oh. Just as I am, and just as God made me, just as made me, just as the love that put this smile upon my face. Oh, just as I am, and just as you are. Just as I am. Just as I am. Just as I am. And just as you are. But you know what? In order to be free, we must first recognize that we are shackled. And shackles can be imposed by gender norms in religion, in race, in culture. And of course, our own self-imposed shackles based around the premises, right? That we have learned all of those things in society, those gender, those norms that we have been taught. I'll tell you, gender norms are ever present in religion. And I think that we all know that in quite a few religions, women are forbidden to lead spiritually. In some faiths, women cannot worship with men. Women must, they have to worship in a separate room or in a whole other building. In some faiths, women cannot worship with their heads uncovered. Their heads must be covered. In some, men can have many wives, but women must only submit to one man. And women or men cannot be gay. There are so many rules, aren't there? There are so many rules regarding, this whole idea of spirituality. But thankfully, we have this absolutely beautiful spiritual community and unity, don't we? Where we can serve spirit and we can pray with freedom, right? And I think that is far more liberal than most spiritual communities, and I'm so grateful for that. Aren't you grateful for that? I mean, we are grateful for that. But you know what? I noticed a couple of discrepancies, and I thought I'd bring it up. Now, of course, these are taken at face value based upon definitions. What I found interesting were the metaphysical definitions of man versus woman. Metaphysically, man is an idea in divine mind, the epitome of being, the apex of God's creation, created in his image and likeness. Metaphysically, woman is the feminine phase of man. Now in Genesis 2:18, verse 25, woman typifies love in the soul that has not yet been developed. Love in the soul not yet developed and established in substance. She also represents the unspiritualized love that is natural to the body, raw, right? Unspiritualized, raw. It's almost like this sort of basal, if you think about love, you think of it more of this sort of in a basal way. But I thought about this, the feminine phase of man. Why phase? Why phase? If we look at the definition of phase, phase is defined, by the way, I couldn't find a metaphysical definition of phase. So I had to go with the Oxford Dictionary version. Phase is defined as a distinct period or stage in a series of events or a process of change or development. Taken in this context, phase here is temporary. It is a temporary period of underdeveloped or immature spirituality that once it does become developed, becomes man, which is defined metaphysically as the apex of God's creation. Phases are something you get over. You know, I'm going through my phase where I'm only wearing pink. It's something you get over. It is what gives rise to something else. And woman is seen as that which gives birth to the fully developed apex of God's creation. It is quite easy to see that even from a metaphysical perspective, there is influence of subservience regarding the feminine. Even in our liberated views at Unity, we have to be careful about our definitions. And though we honor the divine feminine, it's very obvious that we honor the divine feminine in unity, but we have defined it as the lesser that gives birth to the better. Imagine that. Imagine a world that redefines man as the masculine aspect of woman and woman as the feminine aspect of man, rather than the feminine phase of man. You see, because living by this definition of a phase, honoring the feminine is like asking the epitome of being to revert to a lesser version of itself, i.e., woman. The feminine is no lesser version of man or of the masculine. We must come to an agreement that the unification of feminine and masculine, those aspects of being, are not only necessary, but they must be on the same level spiritually, or we will never truly be able to sparkle as the whole beings that we were made to be, without first challenging those religious norms and establishing that the divine feminine and masculine are spiritually on level, equal ground. And that that vision supports oneness and acceptance and love and harmony in spirit. Can we imagine that? Can we imagine what it is like to be exactly the right and perfect amount of enoughness, whether we come in a male form or female form, right? That we have just the perfect amount of enoughness. For spirit, we are exactly enough. All that I know is enough to be wise. And all that I have is enough to be whole. And all that I see is enough to discern the truth. And all that I am is enough for the great I am. As I lean on the power of the one, as I live from the love of the holy, as I shine the light of glory, hallelujah, all that I am is enough for the great I am. All that I know is enough to be wise. All that I have is enough to be whole. All that I see is enough to discern the truth. And all that I am is enough for the great I am. As I lean on the power of one, as I live from the love of holy, as I shine the light of glory, hallelujah, all that I have is enough for the great I am. Oh, let wisdom reign, wholeness reign, let truth prevail, hallelujah, hallelujah, let wisdom reign, oh, let wholeness claim, let truth prevail, oh, hallelujah. friendship like with the male figure in your life? Was that male figure the person who just disciplined, maybe provided money for the household? Was he more like a was he more like a house plant, you know, sort of just sitting around waiting for everyone to do everything for him? Did he play with you? Did he ever hold you or soothe you? Maybe when you were questioning your worth? What did his idea of love look like to you? Did he ever say, I love you? Was he an active part, or was he an active part in nurturing you? What about a female figure? Did she let you get away with everything? Did she do all the disciplining and the yelling? Was she emotionally absent? Or was she there for you in a gentle, loving, supportive way? Right? Did she ever struggle with saying no to you? Right? Or maybe I love you. You know, it's really funny how we make excuses for people in our lives when they fall short of our expectations. Anybody else do that? You know, we make excuses for them. We redefine everything for them and say, well, they were going through this and all of that. And we may not even know everything, but we certainly are good at protecting them from our own judgment sometimes, right? When they fall short of the expectations or the roles that we think that they should play. Truly, we cannot change how our parents were. We can't. It's just not possible. But those idea of mom or dad or man and woman are passed on either consciously or unconsciously to us and subsequent generations, right? How many of us have changed how we parent so as to avoid making the same mistakes that our parents did, right? Me, all of us, we all do that. Right? We repeat those same wonderful patterns that we know are absolutely worth repeating, but others we have to change. And change requires imagination. Right? Our imagination is the key that breaks our shackles of gender and societal norms on parenting, so we don't repeat those damaging patterns. The imagination is the theater of the mind where we rehearse entirely new paradigms to reshape our world, right? Into one that works for us and for our children and their children and so on. And in a way that raises our awareness and our consciousness towards more wholesome love, wholesome parenting, wholesome parenting. Can we imagine a world where we can create this for our loved ones? This is by John Lennon. Can we imagine that kind of world? Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion to. Oh, imagine all the people living life in peace. Oh, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday we'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. Oh, I wonder if you can. sharing all the world. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. In order for that world to be as one, we must first see that we are shackled in order for us to be able to free ourselves from the shackles. In the beginning, God created earth and it was good. And then God created woman and it was even better. And then one day Eve says, God, I'm feeling really bored right now. Can you do something for me? And God thought, and in response he said, I know what. I will make you a man. He will cook, he will clean, he will be nice and sensitive, sweet. He'll even open doors for you. He'll be everything you've ever wanted in a man. But you just have to do one thing, Eve. And Eve asked curiously, what do I have to do, God? And God said, you must convince him that I made him first. Here's another one. When God created man, he took one look and thought, I think I can do better. Okay, jokes aside. There needs to be more jokes about, woman. God created both man and woman. God didn't draw a line in the sand saying, you know what? Man, I'll give you 75% worth and value. Woman, I'll give you 25%. That's all I got. God made us 100% in his image and likeness, no matter what package we came in. I just think that we were just meant to be exactly this way because it's perfect. We are 100% significant together, both. Can we imagine how wonderful life would be if we stopped putting limitations on God's vision? Yes, we have roles. We have roles as male and female, and some that just suit us physiologically. Man cannot give birth. Women must do that. But what does that look like? What does that look like in sort of, breaking through some of those norms? For dad or for men, maybe it means breaking the male norm shackles and embracing nurturing and all it entails emotionally and otherwise. Maybe imagining creative ways to bring more intimacy into our homes and relationships, getting in touch with, their feminine side. For women, it might mean breaking the shackles of female norms like when people say that we're weak or we're not logical, or for example, or be accepting and exploring that assertive masculine nature and integrating that into the wholeness of our being. You know what I love about celebrating Pride and all that it represents is that it really challenges us to accept the wholeness of our being. The male and the female, the sensitive and the fierce, the hunter and the nurturer, the force and gentleness, etc. All within this one body temple, no matter how it shows up physically or physiologically in this world. Outwardly, we may manifest as man or woman, trans, whatever it may be. But by judging one form to be more significant over another, we silence parts of our divine expression. We silence creativity over logic, compassion and love over courage and ambition. We silence our feminine nature over the masculine. We silence God. We are here, hands, feet, eyes, nose, ears, everything, to be that for God. And when we silence those other parts of ourselves, we silence God. How dare us do that? God gives us the power to shape our thoughts into physical reality, and with that power comes responsibility. I really like this quote. Abraham Lincoln says, if I have 6 hours to chop a tree down, I will spend 4 hours sharpening my mind. The mind is the complex part of us that has the option to live out through our imagination and what is possible, rather than just our history, good, bad, or indifferent. Our eyes, our senses, our eyesight allows us to focus on what is and what was. Our eyes are not designed to see possibility, only facts, and we perceive them. Our minds is what allows us to use our eyesight to see the facts of where we are, where we were. And by using our imagination, we can use that information to create a different path, which will have different results. And we've already had great examples of what can come, out of people who challenge that status quo of race and religion and gender norms, with gay rights and civil rights and religious rights activists. In order to live beyond these norms, we cannot live from our eyesight and dwell on our history, because it's easy. It's so easy to repeat the same lesson, We like comfortable, even if it's not good. It's so easy to just keep repeating the same story. We must challenge. We absolutely must challenge our minds to imagine that we are more than the skin we wear, or the sex we are, or the gender we identify as, or the roles that we play. We are spirit. Spirit first, spirit last. That's who we are. Do you know who you are? Do you know? Who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Do you know who you really are? Who are you now? Walk the path of the richest man for a moment in his shoes, drowning in material fantasies, forgetting how to breathe, standing tall with pride, gaze on all the good things you've done and you've seen, while the inner voice is silent, emerging when it comes undone. Who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Do you know who you really are? Who are you now? Who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Do you know who you really are? Who are you now? We're all so deeply attached to places and situations and faces and people. Can't tell our right from our left. We're so caught up in looking good for the rest. We are human. We have to thrive in the material, so our lives aren't inconsequential, but we are spirit first and spirit last, emerging when it comes undone. Who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Do you know who you really are? Who are you now? Who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Do you know who you really are? Who are you now? Let us take this into meditation, shall we? Let's just take a nice big cleansing breath. A nice big cleansing breath, shall we? I'd like you to imagine with me for a moment. Imagine that you had a chance to live all over again. If it is comfortable for you, please close your eyes so that you can really get in touch with that. Imagine that you had a chance to live all over again, that you are coming into this life all new, brand new, and growing into adulthood. Imagine that there are absolutely no restrictions on your gender, on your sex. A girl can be seen and she can also be heard. A woman's opinions matter. She has a voice. She is confident. She can be anything. There's nothing to stop you from being who you want to be. As a man, you can also be free to be yourself. You can dress as you choose. You don't have to have the weight of wearing the pants or being the provider. You don't have to be your role. As a man or a woman, you are limitless in every single way. Who would you be? Who would you be? What would you do with that precious life of yours? As you imagine each glorious vision of your ideal self, your confidence, holding your head high, being proud of who you are, doing what you love. I want you to say, yes, that's me. How would you walk? How would you talk? When you have a clear picture in your mind, say, yes, that's me. Would you hug more and play more? Would you be braver, more courageous, more confident? When you see yourself as how you want to be, say, yes, that's me. Are you seeing yourself more assertive? Are you seeing yourself being able to use your voice, asking for what you need, manifesting a life that's delicious? When you have that picture in your mind, say, yes, that's me. Are you living your purpose? What does that look like? When you know, say, yes, that's me. Who would you be now that nothing stands in the way of your greatness? When you see it, say, yes, that's me. Imagine that all possibility and all the characteristics that you saw in yourself are you indeed right where you are, as you are. They are there for you to serve your highest good. Yes, all of those characteristics are you. Which will you choose to be today? If you would, allow my words to be yours. Yes, I have the power to imagine and create a life that serves all aspects of my being and the world. Yes, I have the power to reimagine a world that serves and values both manifestations of God's divine idea that is human. I have the power to reimagine one voice that speaks for both the feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves. I have the power to reimagine one heart that loves without preference or superiority. I have the power to reimagine one mind that seeks to unify, not discriminate, not segregate or separate. I have the power. I have the power. I have the power to reimagine one prayer that celebrates both the Divine Mother and Father, feminine, masculine, all as one. I have the power. I have the power. And at any time you are free to return to this time and space. You can open your eyes and stretch your body. And now I leave it to Spirit, for my work here is to hold the vision. My work is to hold that vision of reimagining a world that works for all, no matter what form we come in, no matter what form we manifest as. Father, mother, masculine, feminine, girl, boy, trans, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. One heart, one mind, one voice shining as the light, one soul, the essence of being, one God, Spirit divine. When I look at you, I see God molding me, lovingly. Everything I say, everything I do deepens my connection with you. Oh, one heart, one mind, one voice shining as light, one soul, the essence of being, one God, Spirit divine. Well, I truly hope that you got something out of all of this. I truly hope that you felt heard today. And I hope that whatever this message inspired in you, I hope that whatever it was that was meant to be inspired in you was awakened and inspired in you. However it was meant to. It is not up to me to judge that. It is not up to me to judge that. You know what? Let us sing this one. This one is called Namaste. I honor the divine in you. I honor the divine in me. So let us choose to create a new story that isn't weighted by society and its inability to see our glorious God-given vision. Let us find the courage to live as we imagined it in our minds. Let us allow each other the space to do the same. I honor the divine in you no matter what your physiological or physical expression is, man, woman, or otherwise. The divinity in thee, led by Spirit joyfully. Namaste and blessed be. I honor your divinity. I celebrate the divinity in thee, led by Spirit faithfully. Blessings pour like rain on me. I honor your divinity. Namaste. 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 Namaste.